Hello, good evening. This is Think Tank TV. My name is Moses Waribor. Today there was a protest by some youths of Bonny Island concerning the non-implementation of the new salary structure and, according to them, what they call selective employment. The protests caused a lot of chaos around town, but interestingly, towards the end part of today, there was some meetings that held between the youth leadership and different stakeholders. We're glad to let you know that today we have right on sect the leader of Bonny Youth Federation, Mr. Emmanuel Finecountry. We welcome him on sect so that we can hear exactly from him what exactly the issue is, so that he can also tell us the way forward. Good evening, Mr. Emmanuel.
Good evening.
Okay, so you don't seem in a good mood today.
Yeah.
So can our viewers know what exactly the issue is today? Because there has been a chaos in town. Everybody doesn't seem to know what exactly the issue is. Can we hear from you, please?
Okay. There are actually issues of salary structure, and which metamorphosed to somehow seemingly employment issues. But I believe to some extent the discussions are ongoing.
Okay.
Discussions are ongoing, and yeah, there will be feedback any moment from now to the general public.
Okay. So how are you able to calm this situation down? Because obviously professional conflict resolution mechanisms would have been put in place. What you're able to do to ensure that this situation was calmed and handled properly?
Okay, first of all, we had to revert back to the traditional institution,
Yeah.
which also spoke to the youths to remain calm, maintain peace while this discussion continued to go on. And from my own angle, I also explained the best I was able to, or to the level of which I am aware of, as it gets to do with this salary structure and the employment little. I was able to also explain to the youths. So that was actually what happened.
Okay. We had a lot of conversation with some of the youths who were around, and they're like, you should be their representative, you should be their eye, you should know what to be done at the right time. So it looks as though they are pointing all the blames on you, like you should be able to represent them appropriately to ensure that this issue does not degenerate to this extent. What do you have to such youths who look up to you and think that perhaps you may have not done well enough?
Okay, that is for some that might think perhaps I have not done well enough. But I will tell you that I'm a member of Bonny Kingdom Local Content Compliance Committee, and it's informations. There are informations you don't come to the market and give. I might not have that opportunity to come to the market, gather the market people, give them information, go to any other environment, gather them and give. There is Bonny Youth Federation, what we call Bonny Youth Federation Congress, of which even held today. But for some issues, the Congress was somehow adjourned.
Oh, yeah.
You see, as it gets to do with this salary structure, on Wednesday, not because of this protest, on Wednesday there will be a meeting of the committee set up by His Majesty and even these consortiums. So these are areas the salary issue will be discussed. There are some errors that have gone on before now, but mechanisms are being put in place. Even Chiefs Council have interest for the salary issue. Other bodies have the interest to also mediate as it gets to do with this salary structure. So it might not, for those that know the extent we are moving, they are aware and also applauding the moves on ground.
Okay, so some of them are talking about the Bonnet Bible, the 27 has commenced, that there's supposed to be a salary structure that is supposed to be activated. Can we hear directly from you? Has the 27 commenced properly?
My brother, if you ask me, for the little I can say, I believe 27 have commenced because Saipem have not been in Bonny. And for Saipem to come in, being one of the consortiums of 27, as it gets to do with CDJV, that means 27 have commenced. So for the Bonnet Bible, there is no Bible anywhere that will say, okay, this Bible must be the working documents of the and forever and ever it must be. No, 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 no. There should be changes. At some point, some person sat down under the umbrella of Bonny Local Government Content Committee and to say, look, let's look at this range to be salary of about 350,000 naira. And at that point, it is only expected that even our brothers that are part of one or two bodies inside or outside internally with the company should respect what the kingdom is doing together. There are documents we are aware that have been signed in the company. Who are signing those documents? Why can you blame another man for another man's error? But we are still on the issue. We are still making progress. We cannot leave our people impoverished for whatever reason. So that issue of salary is strongly going on, and that maybe will form the next Bonnet Bible. If there is anything called Bonnet Bible, that one will form the next Bonnet Bible.
Okay, so can you pinpoint anything that you think that this is exactly the issue why perhaps this Bonnet Bible, as it were, because we've heard it from so many people, that this Bonnet Bible has not become a working document. It has not been actioned to let the workers who go to work every day to begin to smile to the bank. What do you think is exactly the issue you can pinpoint? Why is it not being able to be activated? Why has it not been able to activate it?
I don't get your question clearly, because like you said, there is Bonnet Bible,
Yeah.
and I believe from train 1 to train 6 there was a document that was used. Now that document, for some of us, we believe that document is outdated. Let there be a new arrangement.
Okay, so if there's going to be a new arrangement, should that arrangement come before the 27 commencement, or it is as the 27 has commenced? Because if there's going to be a new one and you say 27 has started, that means that this new Bible you're talking about should have been looked into while they're trying to put in plans that would bring about the implementation and kickstarting of this 27 project.
If they are using the, I don't get.
Yes, you said there should be a new Bible, right?
Yeah.
Now you're saying that 27 has also commenced. So if there should be a new Bible and 27 has commenced, this new Bible should it be activated or looked into before the commencement of 27?
My brother, that I can't mention, that I can't say.
Okay.
Because I only worked in the site as every other person, and maybe had the opportunity to serve now as a youth leader. So that I don't know how it was done before, but going forward, I believe what I'm saying here is, if there was an agreement, let that agreement be revisited and let something new.
Okay, so if there was an agreement, I would like to say, because a lot of people, like we communicated with them today, are saying you should be the mediator, you should be able to stand on behalf of them as young people to say, okay, we want to ensure that the rights of our people are implemented as the youth head, as it were. Yeah. Right? Okay, so that I will leave for you. But on the second note, we have what we call selective employment as one of the reasons why the protest went on today, talking about why that they should have selective employment. Some people inside PEM has commenced work. Meanwhile, they don't even know the origination of how they came into the work. And we also want to look at what is the employment ratio as it has to do with non-indigenous and indigenous. Has this employment ratio been implemented and followed to the latter?
Very clearly, as it gets to do with employment issues, I believe you should refer back to the BRC chairman.
Okay.
And in regards to your first, that if I am mediating for the youths.
Yes, as
I
the
would say,
representative of the youth.
I would say, with my whole heart, I am doing that. Like I told you earlier, that I'm a member of BIR, Body Kingdom Local Content Compliance Committee.
Yeah.
And that body is saddled with the responsibility of these same issues we are discussing about.
Okay, so as
it gets to do with the MOU to be signed with these companies, that body is, and I will not be there. I'm not stuck as it gets to do with our youths. Somebody was there. I only got there recently, but believe you me that our youths will not be shortchanged.
Okay, so your word to them is they will not be, your youth will not be shortchanged, and can they have any sort of assurance again as it has to do with time range to ensure that their rights are properly implemented? What time range are you looking at? Because this whole thing seems to have epileptically gone down now. What are you looking at? How long from now do you think that this whole thing will be resolved for them to have a headway?
My brother, I am not the company. I am not also the apex person to take decision in the kingdom. I am only doing my own best to make sure. So I can't nip anything to say this is a time range, this will take place or that will take place. No, but negotiations are ongoing and people are talking. Okay, people are talking to the betterment of Bonny Kingdom. That I assure you.
Okay, so lastly, I know that you had series of meetings today after the whole chaos. You were able to tone down the pressure that was mounted today. What is the final word you have for our youths out there who do not know their left from their right, as it is?
The way really think Bonny youths don't know their left from their right.
In terms of disemployment and selective employment you're talking about?
Like employment, I still refer you back to BIROC. I believe you should open that conversation with BIROC, which is saddled with the responsibility of employment. Okay. Where we can come in is when some youths have issues on site, whatever level of marginalization on site, I swing into action with my Central Executive Council, and in most occasions, we nip those things on the board.
Okay, so was the king in the meeting you had today, this evening? Was he in the meeting?
No, we have to the king. We have to leave that area out totally out of discussion.
Okay, okay. On the final note, Think Tank TV is more of an inspirational and motivational station. We also like to talk about real life issues, because we believe that a lot of people that are listening out there should be able to learn life issues. You're the youth leader of Bonny Youth Federation, and we know that obviously you have gotten some characteristics that made them to see you as worthy enough to be the leader. I'd like you to say one or two things to our young people. If you were to leave this world today and you are asked to just release 3 words to people who are left here by virtue of your experiences and challenges, what would you say to them?
One, I have noticed that transparency pays. The other, I have also come to understand that good name is better than riches, and the other, stand for what you believe.
Thank you so much, Mr. Finecountry. We had a good time with you. Thank you so much for the time.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.